Alright, I'm just going to do a little short nighttime video. We had a hot day today. It was up to like 94 degrees. And it's been cooling off fast. And I see some thunderclouds coming up. So maybe we're going to get some lightning later. So, good time to make a video before it starts raining. Out on the patio here. And next to the house here, I've got, this is the curry leaf plant. I pruned this thing back because it was getting too tall, and it's been growing nicely. Thought it'd be flowering already, but it hasn't. Maybe it just needs a little bit more hot weather to flower. Got some mulberries back here. This is an Illinois everbearing mulberry, and I bought this last year, and even though it's small, it's been making a decent amount of berries for its size. And then bought another mulberry called a Pakistan. And this one is that one just fell off. Might have to just try it and see how it tastes, even though it's not looking completely ripe. It's not bad, actually. Tastes better if it got riper, though. Here's my miracle berry plants. I thought I saw fruit on this one. Oh yeah, there it is. They've been flowering a lot, but I just threw them outside because I think they just like being outside in the shade. So, seem happier already. But the focus of the video, what's the most interesting stuff, is all the guava flowers I've been getting. So this is a strawberry guava. This thing's putting out a lot of flowers. It's got a few fruit on it that will be getting ripe soon. I've had a few that have turned red in the last week or so, and unfortunately I didn't get a lot that held on. There's a little bunch of them over there. I really enjoy this plant, even though it's very common. It just makes a good tasting fruit, so definitely worth growing, and no problem with getting fruit to set. It'll even set fruit at a pretty young age and small size. This is a couple of yellow jaboticabas that have been growing. This one, believe it or not, used to be bigger than this one, and I grafted it down here with a more mature plant, thinking, oh, that should make it flower sooner, but so far no action on it. And I've got this younger plant that's bigger, that is a specialty one. It's De La Cruz. Basically the fruit is supposed to be larger than this one, and it's got a little cross on the bottom of the fruit. And I thought it would be flowering already, but it's big, but it just hasn't got to flowering yet. Back here's a Guava. I traded some flowers with a friend of mine and rubbed the flowers on these flowers, and I'm not seeing anything yet. I'm not sure if any of these will actually set or just drop off. So I'm beginning to think the reason I haven't got a fruit set yet might be more related to the maturity of the tree rather than the pollination. So that's kind of what I'm starting to guess at. Anyways, moving on. This is a jujube, grew from seed. It's flowering a lot. It makes a small fruit. It's not very good. Probably should graft it one of these days, but it's just kind of on my list. This is a hybrid guava from Argentina. Reputation is pretty cold hardy. I've left it out pretty late in the winter, and it seems to be fine. It flowers, but it doesn't set fruit. And I have a second one that's been just started flowering this year. So I'm gonna see. These flowers should be opening up soon, and we'll see if being in close proximity to each other, maybe I'll rub some flowers together. See if we can get a sample here. I forgot which species they were, but if you're interested, I can let you know. I know it's a cross between two uncommon types of guavas. I just can't remember what they are. This is actually, it looks like a ground cover, but it's actually a type of guava. It's called an arazape, another one from Argentina. And it's interesting because even at this young size, it started flowering. I think it's too early to tell if any of these flowers actually set into fruit. I know this one is not setting, but it's kind of nice. It's like, definitely I could grow this as a ground cover somewhere. I have a couple of other ones. I don't think I left this one outside all winter, but I have a couple of other ones somewhere else in the yard that I actually left outside all winter, and they survived. They got a little ugly looking, but they actually survived in this winter. And the only reason I did that is because they do have a reputation of being cold hardy. So we'll see what happens with that one. Got a few Sichuan pepper seedlings that I've been growing. I need to separate those and put them on different pots. I have some plants for some of those, and as usual I'm ending up with some extras, so I'll be putting some up for sale because I can't use that many Sichuan peppers. This is my genberry. It's kind of petering out as terms of the fruit, and I brought it outside so the good bugs can clean it off, and hopefully maybe we'll get another round of flowering if I bring it back into the greenhouse later. Got some common guavas over here. I do try to, these are fairly old, they're like 4 or 5 years, and I do try to keep them pruned down low. I prune them back heavily in the winter, and then they seem to grow back pretty nicely. This one back here has been regrowing nicely. I haven't had much success with getting a lot of flowers and fruit from these common guavas yet, but I'll just keep trying for a while, see what it'll do. This is a banana guava called Obsidian robustum. I also pruned this back, and this one hasn't flowered for me yet either, so we'll see. Just needs another year maybe. These are kind of a pretty one called a purple leaf guava. Came from California. I don't know much about them, but I like them for the foliage, and we'll see what they do. Over here is I think it's called a Guava. No, I take it back. It's actually a Nana dwarf guava. It's closely related to common guava, but it's supposed to stay more compact. It's flowered for me before, but it hasn't made any fruit yet. I have 2 narrow leaf guavas, and this is their 2nd year of flowering. They actually set a few fruit for me last year. I've actually moved them up into larger containers, and pretty happy with narrow leaf guava. They flower, they set fruit, they like to stay small, and the fruit tastes really good. Definitely worth growing. This is one of my lemon guavas. It's got a lot of fruit on it that is going to get ripe soon, probably in the next few weeks, and also trying to produce a lot more. The key with these is to keep pruning them back. I like to keep my trees like to about 6 feet tall at the most, ideally like 4 or 5, my container trees that is. And As soon as this one fruits, I'll probably remove some of that top growth. Some jaboticabas. This is an interesting little plant. It's called a Merciaria cuspidita. I like the small leaves on it. I've been growing this from seed for about 3 years. I believe it can turn into a pretty big tree, but I also heard that it can fruit and flower at a small size, so it's a good one to grow in a container, and it's pretty to look at. Also, it was blasted by a lot of sun in the last few days and no noticeable leaf damage, or I'm seeing bronzing on other things, so it's seems like a good one. Some various jaboticabas, some blackberries. These are thornless blackberries. They make nice berries. They're fine. And we'll end over here. I have a Daisy Blasta Suriname cherry. It's growing really well. I really like the structure of how this one's growing. It hasn't flowered for me yet. I don't want to graft it because I just want to see what it turns out like in terms of fruit on its own. I'm kind of surprised this one hasn't actually flowered for me yet, but I'm guessing it will in the next year or so. Scorpion pepper. These peppers are just too hot, but my kid loves spicy things, so I'd grow it for him. And finally, this is a flambeau. This is a Chilean guava, and it's been flowering. It looks like we've got a few fruit setting. I have another one in the front that I planted in the ground. This one I just put in the container. The one I put in the ground actually has more fruit that set, and I just moved this one up to a larger container. It was drying out its pot too much, so I think it actually just ended up dropping most of its fruit. One thing about fruiting in general, if your pot's drying out too much, you get any fruit, the plant will shed it typically. So it's always good to make sure that your plant is not underpotted if you want fruit. This is a cinnamon apple that I tasted in Florida 3 years ago. Brought home a few seeds, and this is one of them. This thing doesn't flower for me. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. We'll see. Thanks for watching today, and I hope you have a good evening.